Hello, everybody. Right now, I would like to talk to you about a word that really does get overused a little bit: fascism, referring to the Republican Party and the Trump administration as fascists. Now, a lot of people that have actually accused them of being fascists, sometimes even socially, will get some pushback. That gets overused a lot, though, and they're not really fascist. You just don't like their policies. Okay. I am going to prove to you today that the Donald Trump administration, as well as the entire GOP, is a fascist party at this moment in time, with one construction project. One construction project, one publicly funded project, is going to emerge with characteristics of 5 characteristics of fascism. And it's perfectly primed for for 6, for one more. There was a political scientist in 2003, Lawrence Britt, studied fascists such as Hitler, Mussolini, Franco, as well as others, and wrote his 14 characteristics that they all had in common. Now, I'm not going to go over the list of all 14 of them. You can just look up Lawrence Britt, 14 characteristics of fascism. It's easy to get. It's really helpful, and it's really helps you understand to identify a fascist government quickly. And it's a very short list to read off. But I'm going to read off the five characteristics that this construction project and publicly funded project shows. Recently on the Majority Report with Sam Cedar, they were covering, and I'll put a link in the description, they were covering a construction project of a homeless detention camp in Utah. Now, they pretty much go over all the information you need and how bad it is, so I don't really need to add to that. Just go ahead and read it. Or I should say, go ahead and view it and take a look at it. It's pretty terrifying. Now, it's not really something that all 3 of these people identify with and may not be religious people, but the part that really creeped me out is watching 3 people raised in a Jewish household trying to convince America that homeless detention camps are a bad thing. So go ahead and take a look. You'll understand the video. The gist of it is this: Utah is going to build a homeless camp with 1,300 beds in the state of Utah. They're going to possibly round up homeless people and keep them in a detention camp. Now, there's not a lot of details available right now. We don't know how they can get there. We don't know what kind of parameters are set for anything. It's still early in the works, so it hasn't happened yet. All right, here we go. One of the characteristics of fascism under Lawrence Britt that he noticed that all of the fascist regimes had in common was a disdain for human rights. Now, I can give you an example for that. Making a detention camp for people that are homeless and just financially struggling. There's nothing about that screams human rights. That is just messed up. There's a lot of people who have been homeless in their lives. They can run out of money. And with a bad economy and rising costs, it's going to be happening a lot. It's already happening more than we can sustain. So, yeah, disdain for human rights. You're doing nothing but just not having money. That's pretty obvious. Here's another one: identification of scapegoats for a unifying cause. The federal government and state government in Utah is scapegoating homeless people and pretending like they're a threat to society. Homeless people do not commit crimes at a higher or lower rate than any other group of people according to their financial bracket. It's really the same crap. They're just people just like anybody else. I wish that point was not hard to make, and I wish I didn't have to say that, but it's true. Now here's one: obsession with national security. They're making a federal detention center for homeless people who are not a threat to anybody. They're going to take $45 million approximately from programs that subsidize mental health programs and homeless programs. So they're actually taking money away from programs that actually keep homeless people from being homeless. And they're using it to help build this detention center. Just to put them in a detention center. So was that an obsession? I think that's an understatement. They're actually going to make homeless crisis worse by diverting the funds. So they're actually just creating a supply and demand with the policies that they're actually enacting. Another characteristic is corporate power is protected. So all the corporations and all the businesses and all the people that are making money off it, the construction projects, the staffing, This is all going to be legal. Yeah, it's protected. Building a concentration camp for homeless people? A detention center? You're not going to get in trouble for that? I mean, that's like stuff that when I was in grade school back in the 90s, we all kind of agreed was a bad thing. I don't know. It's 2026 now. And then there's another one, obsession with crime and punishment. So they're trying to really punish homeless people and really crack down on them. And there's been a lot of anti-homeless laws. Now, some of it's common sense. Now, I don't think you shouldn't have to just have like a homeless camp right in the middle of the street. I think that's one of those arguments that gets used. And I think you shouldn't let that happen. But that's not what's going on 99% of the time. A lot of it is just most homeless people stay out of their way. You don't really notice them. And there's a lot over here in the Metro Detroit area. And you see it a lot. There's always people on corners begging. And there's always people that are sleeping under bridges. And it's terrible. They're not a harm. I've never been harmed by a homeless person. Ever. We're going to scapegoat them. We're going to ignore their human rights. We're going to pretend like it's helping our national security. And we're going to really, really emphasize on punishing them while protecting corporate power. And what's that sixth one? Rampant cronyism and corruption. Well, we'll have to see if the project gets off the ground and it turns into just a bunch of grifting. Yeah, then it'll be 6 characteristics of fascism of the 14. Guys, to actually wonder and debate what's going on right now, with what kind of government we have and what we're up against. If one construction project can show the face of 5, possibly 6 characteristics of fascism, well, golly gee. Maybe we're living under a fascist regime.